What's going on, everyone? I'm your host Tyler Crux, and we are back with some more Digimon story, Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory. This video will be my 100% achievement video, so it will just be me. And you guys can see how I went about playing both of these games. I will preface, as I was playing the game, I had a GameFAQs walkthrough opened up on my phone, so the pacing will be similar to the guide in terms of order of operations. The reason for that is because there are some achievements that become missable at certain points of the story. This will be more prevalent in Hackers than it will be in Cyber Sleuth. Both GameFAQs guides I used will be in the description below if you guys plan to 100% these games also. With that out of the way, let's start up Cyber Sleuth and become the best detective there is. We start the game with a cutscene of our character logging into a chat room with some of his friends. Akeno asks everyone if they have heard of Digimon, and we get a small exposition about them and how hackers use them for evil deeds. Mr. Navit, the Eden mascot, breaks in and threatens us to log into Eden the next day or he will hack us. Akeno tells us that we should all log in and do what Mr. Navit says, so we can all meet up. Our character is in after some influence from Blue Box. After choosing my character's gender and naming them, we get a pretty neat CGI scene explaining Eden and how everyone uses it. The virtual world sure is better than real life. We start in Eden's entrance area. We seem to have gotten there earlier than needed, so our character decides we should make small talk with the other avatars in the area. The first thing I do is talk to this flashy dude, and he tells us about a rumor of a white ghost in Eden. Sorry dude, but ghosts inside of a machine? Somebody called Danny Phantom because Technus has returned. I then go up the stairs and grab this Gummymon medal. 1 medal down, 500 to go in Cyber Sleuth. Oh lord. I then talk to this male student who tells us that our friend might be in the community area. I talk to this intellectual businessman who tells us about Eden access points. I then talk to this creepy hacker just to start up another cutscene. We look at the access point and decide to check out some other areas. We first head to the community area. Once we enter, we get a call from Mr. Navit telling us that we are running late and that we are supposed to be in Kowloon. Problem: we don't know how to get there. But before heading back to the entrance, I grab this Minomon medal. I then talk to this apathetic businessman who points us back to the entrance to talk to the creepy hacker again, since he might be able to help us. I then grab this Upamon medal, since it is better to pick up the shinies as you see them, so you don't worry about missing them later. Back at the entrance, the creepy hacker just gives us the URL. Okay, that's strange. Entering Kowloon level 1, we get another CG scene of our character flying to the meetup point where we can see Nokia waiting alone. The weird thing about dialogue options in this game is that they are all sometimes just one complete thought. Like this first one, the first line is apologizing, then we introduce ourselves, and then the second line is asking if Nokia is Nakano. But besides character reactions, what you choose does not have that much impact on what actually happens in the story. Nokia introduces herself, then yells at us for being late. We then ask about Blue Box, and Nokia starts complaining about him. She then complains about the ghost of the Pale Boy, since ghost hunting in cyberspace is dumb. Blue Box gives her a jump scare, and we learn his real name is Arata. Nokia points out that Arata is a Big Brother character in the chat, but she goes and gives him a backhanded compliment, saying he is self-absorbed and a waste of good looks. While talking, we get another call from Mr. Navit, who hacked into our devices and installed the Digimon capture program. We are now officially unofficial hackers. Nokia tries to delete it and finds out that we can't remove this program. Time to turn to a life of crime, I guess. We notice someone hiding and Arata chases after them. Nokia is too afraid to chase and wants to leave. We see a firewall has been set up so we cannot go back the way we came. We tell Nokia we might find an exit if we press forward, and she just does not want to follow. Upon entering the next area, we run into the ghost of the pale boy and then pass out. Upon passing out, the ghost boy inscribes something into our, well, I don't know if it's being inscribed into our Digivice, our character's model, or into our mental data. And from playing through all of Hacker's Memory also, I am unsure what this was supposed to be. We wake up and get scared by the pale ghost again. Never mind, this one is not transparent. Looks oddly similar though. We tell the stranger what we saw, and then we learn that he is called the Wrath of Eden, and he tells us why that is. They notice that we just had the Digimon capture program installed and that we are just a fledgling hacker. They tell us what hackers are and asks us what type of hacker we plan to be. The ghastly boy then lets us choose our first Digimon. We choose between Terriermon, Palmon, and Hagurumon. I take some time to think about this decision and figure out who I want on my team for right now, since they won't be on my team for this playthrough. I have other plans, and if I cannot get the Digimon to where I want easily, then I will just box them until needed. I chose Palmon since it isn't that bad of a starting Digimon. After some more dialogue, the three Digimon run off because they are being chased by a Kurisarimon. We want to go after it because we need to protect those three rookie level Digimon. We run into the next area and Palmon runs behind us. The ghastly boy joins us in this fight because he is intrigued by us. He brings out Machine Dramon and Palmon steps up to kick butt. After the fight, the ghastly boy wants to leave us now, but we ask if he has seen Arata around. He points us in the direction we need to go and finally introduces himself as Yugo. I went back to the previous area because I missed a chest and we ran into Nokia, who was playing with Agumon and Gabumon. We show her our Digimon and she now tags along with us as we head off for Arata. We grab the chest, which had some healing items in it. In the next area there are two chests, one with an escape gate and the other with 2 more HP capsule Cs. Don't worry, I am not going to be going through every chest we open. As we approach the final area, we get a scene where Nokia tells us she is having a strange sense of deja vu. We then get a weird faceless flash, unsure what is happening. We move on with the ghost watching us. Arata is already at the access points at the end of the area and is trying to get back up and running. It seems like he also had the same flash that Nokia and us did. As we get close to the portal, a Nautilus comes out. Arata seems to believe it's the rumored monster that consumes people's data while he starts hacking into the access points. Nokia freezes and the 2 Digimon she met from before come back to protect her. We join in the fight with Palmon and just attack because this thing is invincible. A few turns pass and Arata gets the exit working. Nokia leaves first, followed by Arata. Then once we get there, we get caught and are told to find someone. Our Digivice tells us that there is an unexpected error during logout. Once we are able to log out, we end up in the middle of the street in Shinjuku as just data. After everyone freaks out, we get saved by a hot blonde who needs to put on a bra. But hey, I'm not going to complain about this. After some discussions in her car about what is happening, we finish the prologue. Starting up chapter 1, we are in the Kurumi Detective Agency in Nakano. We also get the first achievements in the game, getting to chapter 1. Yeah, in this game, the story achievements are gotten for starting a chapter and not finishing it. We talked to Kyoko for a bit about how our body is purely data, but still in the physical world. Kyoko tells us that before we figure out what happened to me, we should do something about my appearance. We then hear a voice telling us to jump into the TV, and we just blindly follow it. We end up in our first digital network. We make our way through and end up in the Eden open space. We get a call from Kyoko and get an exposition as to why we were able to enter Eden from her TV. We leave the open space and end up in the Digilab and meet Mirai. We learn what the different terminals in the Digilab do, then we leave for Kowloon level 1. We test out our new hacking skill and get another call from Kyoko. We explain to her what happened and she tells us we need to look for our body parts in Kowloon. We test out the Digiline and continue forward. We find our first body parts and fight 2 Koromons. I head back to the Digilab to convert the Koromon data into actual Digimon. I then return it back into data because I want its personality to be either fighter or brainy. Once I get a fighter, I add it to my party. I head back out with Palmon and Koromon to find my next body part. Once I fight it, we fight 3 more Digimon. Each fight gives us a quick tutorial on combat. This one has attributes and types. Number 3 teaches us about abnormal statuses. The last one teaches us about cross combos and cam. Basically, increase your camaraderie with your Digimon so they can do more combos more often. Getting our body back, Kyoko tells us we should come back to the agency. I spend some time on our way back to get some Digimon data for later. I primarily work in the digital network 1 to farm up some data for Botamon, since Tyrannomon and Greymon have an inherited skill that I want for all my Digimon. I farm up 10 Botamons, getting 4 fighters and 6 brainies. To basically explain right now, Tyrannomon and Greymon have an inherited skill called Acceleration Boost. This skill doubles the damage output the next turn. This is a good skill to have for basically any Digimon. Tyrannomon gets this skill at level 10, and Greymon gets it at level 25. So at the beginning of the game, I will be running a very limited squad, but it will be worth it later on. I have the first Digifarm set up with some Digimon with the Searcher personality, so I can get investigations going for later on in the game. But for the start, having Digimon in the Digifarm will give them passive experience as you play the game. So if you want to have some Digimon gaining levels but you don't want to have them in your party, just leave them in the farm. Back at the agency, we meet Detective Matayoshi and are told we might work with him or get cases from him since he and Kyoko have known each other for a while. He tells us about a rumor going on in the special ward at the hospital and that it has to do with the patients that have contracted Eden syndrome. He then explains the Eden syndrome is a strange condition where Eden users randomly lose consciousness and end up in a coma. We do not know the cause, the symptoms, or the treatment. Well, we might know the cause of it. He basically tells us that he wants Kyoko and us to look into Kameshiro's connection to Eden syndrome, and if there are any secrets they are keeping from the public, without directly telling us to do it. He also warns us not to drink the coffee, whatever that means. Kyoko tells us she is going to the hospital to get information and that she wants us to join her. Once at the hospital, we make a game plan and then see a dark-haired beauty talking to a nurse. She looks sad. Maybe we should talk to her and not stare like a creep. Are we staring like a creep? Ah, shit. We say hello and get the silent treatment. Damn, the Riz is not with us. We head to the special ward and get told we are not welcome. Kyoko tells us we should use our ability to sneak in from the general ward. On the general ward, before I connect jump, I head down the hallway for a Kunamon medal. I then head back and finally connect jump. In the digital network, I make sure to get as much experience as I can while making my way through. On the other side, we contact Kyoko and she tells us what we need to do next. Before heading through the large double doors, we see ourselves in one of the patient's beds. We learn that we too have Eden syndrome. We try to look on the bright side since our body is in good shape, however, we still don't know what is going on. We access the computer and read some files about Eden syndrome, the treatments, and its association with Kamishiro. We then head out and bump into the girl with raven hair again. This time, she talks to us. I knew she couldn't resist my charms. We talk to her for a bit and get a call from Kyoko that we need to get out of there. At the entrance of the ward, we hear a voice of a very flirtatious woman. I feel like there's going to be loads of lawsuits with her involved. We hide and... Would I put my dick in crazy? No, not this one. We learn the girl's name is Yuko, and I am skipping this section because Kishibe is just... no. We escape and met Kyoko back in the lobby before heading back to the agency and telling her what we saw. She then makes us her assistant because we too want to search for the truth of Eden syndrome. As a celebration, she gives us some coffee, and I drink it in one gulp and just die. Upon starting chapter 2, Kyoko tells us that we should get comfortable with Nakano, since this will be our base of operations. She then tells us about the whiteboard, and that is where we will accept and turn in cases. We get our next story related achievement. After accepting our first case, we head out and run into Mirai. She gives us the ability to bring real world items into the digital world. Continuing on with the case, we head to the 4th floor and head over to the arcade section to talk to a boy hiding for a toy Agumon medal. We then head to K Cafe, introduce ourselves to the owner, and pick up Kyoko's order of coffee beans. After leaving, I met with the medal man. He has nice stuff for us, but good lord, can the medals be a grind. I then head to the 2nd floor and run into Nokia. She tells us she is worried about Agumon and Gabumon since they protected her. After our chat with Nokia, I explore more of the 2nd floor and grab a Agumon expert medal before heading back to the detective agency. I turn in the case and talk with Kyoko about how weird everyone in Nakano is. She then wants us to go around Shinjuku and ask questions about the rumors people are saying about me. She also tells me I need to call my mom and let her know that I am okay since, you know, I am also in the hospital. When reaching Shinjuku, I ran into Arata. We have a quick chat about the eater we saw and how he went to ask the admins about it, but they knew nothing. We then ask Arata if he is a hacker, and he blows off the question before leaving. I see a shiny on the other side of the crosswalk and pick it up for the Arcadiamon medal. I met up with Ryota and Sakura. Ryota freaks out because I should be at my mom's place, and Sakura looks hypnotized. She seems to be into this Jimmykin guy and his music. We tell Ryota that we are a cyber sleuth, and Sakura ignores us until Ryota tries something. Ryota explains who Jimmykin is. I wrap up my talk with them, then head back to the agency since there was no one else to talk to. We let Kyoko know that it is safe for us to wander about. Kyoko also got us a new Eden account since we are unable to use our original one. We then get our first proper case working at the agency. The raven-haired girl from the hospital enters. Her name is Yuko. Last name, unimportant. She explains the case she has for us is to look into her missing father. She gives us all the information she has, and then we can start the case. Based on the father's login information, it seems like his account might have been raided by a hacker, so we need to figure out who might have taken it. We head into Eden's main area and talk to this flashy dude who gives us the keyword Zaxxon. We head to Kowloon level 1 since that's where hackers tend to hang out. I ask around about Zaxxon until I get their server URL. When I first entered Zaxxon, I picked up this Mojiamon medal. I then asked this guy about account rating, and he points us to Kowloon level 2. So I made my way to the elevator to get to Kowloon level 2. When I reached the elevator, I picked up this Yukimi Botamon medal and head on up. Going forward, I pick up this Dodomon medal, then this Euromon medal. Continuing forward, I confront a bunch of masked hackers. We then get introduced to Mephisto, the leader of this account raiding operation. He seems a little strange, like if he doesn't get a new account, he will start showing withdrawal symptoms. A Growlmon appears behind him and starts the boss fight. Upon winning, we get our first memory up. Now we can have more party memory. We call Kyoko and let her know what happened. She tells us to come back to the agency. She then got the information needed for Mr. Yamashina, and we then head to the Yamashina house to see if we can find anything there. Mr. Yamashina opens the door, showing us that he is not missing. He must have finally returned with that milk. His daughter returns home, showing that Yuko is not his daughter, but this girl Chika. After clearing up some information, we head back to the agency and report back to Yuko, if that even is her real name. Oh, it is her real name. Okay. For optional cases, I won't go through all of them since they are pretty quick and they hold no story importance. I will only point out the rewards they give, or if the area they take place in has something important, like medals. I honestly might also do the same with the main cases, unless they directly tie into some aspect of the main story, because this game is long. The next main case we get is the introduction case for the blacklisted hackers. I don't think I will do the blacklisted hackers in this playthrough since they do not give anything of value, so I just get this intro case out of the way. During the first DLC case, Mirai wants us to hunt down a group of 3 hackers. During one of my fights, I get the ultra long combo achievement for having 3 or more Digimon attack at once. The next main case is Mysterious Digital Face. There is not much to this case. Kyoko wants us to help with an investigation that involves Matayoshi, but she does not want him to find out we are helping. This case just gives exposition for Matayoshi, and it has an equivalent case in Hacker's Memory. For the life of me, I could not find the footage for how to unlock this quest. Like, I have the final part of it, but the first 2, nope. But what you have to do is you have to talk to the girl by the stairs leading to the 2nd floor, and the guy by the back entrance. Then you can interact with the air vent, and the summary of this quest is just that the AC is on the fritz, making everything super cold, so we have to fix it. We go up to the K Cafe to ask the owner there if he knows anything about how the AC works. We get a small history lesson about Nakano, and then head back to the agency to report what we learned. We then head back to K Cafe and connect Jump behind this wall. We make our way through this digital space until we run into this Frigimon who is causing the AC unit to freak out. After fighting it, we meet a talking Wanyamon, and he tells us how this all happened. After going back to the agency, we get some more dialogue. We then turn in this case and jump right into chapter 3. We meet Nokia in front of the rainbow turntable and take her back to the agency. The case she wants to give us is to help her find Agumon and Gabumon. To start Nokia's request, I head to Kowloon level 1 and meet her at Junk Plaza. I see some Zaxxon hackers trying to, I want to assume, scare her to try and get her account. I don't know what they were doing. Let's just beat them and move on. After beating them, we head onto the lift to level 2 in the next area and take down the firewall to level 3. When entering level 3, we get another cutscene and then just move forward. We get stopped by this hacker who wants to know how to get a girlfriend. Just talk to everyone in the left and right areas to get some answers. I then pick up this Ninjamon medal, and this chest has a memory up. After talking to everyone, I go back to the guy and just tell him to have a strong Digimon, and then he lets us through. In the northern area, I picked up this Ikakumon medal, and then move on to the next area. We get another cutscene where we make Nokia uncomfortable, and we hear Agumon and Gabumon ahead. When approaching them, we see them being attacked by 2 Zaxxon hackers. Nokia is the one who picks the fight, but then throws us at them since she got scared. We took them on with ease since I had 2 Greymon with me. We then get another cutscene after the fight and are introduced to Jimmykin. I find him annoying, so skip to the fight. Because of how my team composition is right now, this fight was a tad annoying since I am running 3 vaccines and he has 2 data types. However, with the help of healing items, I am able to pull through and get a memory up for winning. We get another cutscene after the fight where we meet Yugo again and his second in command, Faye. Nokia and Faye do not get along and I am almost thrown into another fight, but luckily Yugo stops that from happening. We celebrate a bit with Agumon and Gabumon, and then they tell us that they are from another world, the digital world, but they don't remember anything else. Nokia decides to take them in and help them remember. When the cutscene ends, we get a call from Kyoko, who tells us we should get to Shinjuku before the police arrive to check something out. Chapter 4 starts when we enter the second area in Shinjuku. We have to make our way to the subway entrance to get a cutscene. We run into Arata, who wants to go into the subway to check it out. Before we head off, we get stopped by a policewoman named Makino Date. Don't worry about those scary eyes, she has a sweetheart deep down. Arata runs off and we follow him into the subway. Welcome to our first digital shift. While making our way through, we get into a Digimon battle, and after it, Arata mentions that it is strange we are able to send our Digimon out. Moving forward, we meet Akimi Suedo. He is a researcher from Kamishiro Enterprises, and he is researching the strange phenomenon we are in. He gives us an exposition on these digital shifts and how we might be able to stop it. After our talk with him, we move on forward. In the next area, I pick up a memory up in this chest by this floating sphere. Interacting with the sphere puts us in a battle. After winning, we obtain an IC card that allows us to reach the boss of the area. Moving down south, I pick up this Shellmon medal, and then we make our way to this red exclamation mark on the map to access the next area. After going past this access point, we get into a fight with an eater. After being the eater, the digital shift collapses and the subway goes back to normal. We have a quick chat with Arata before having to run from the cops. After losing Date, we are back at the agency. Explaining to Kyoko what happened, then we tell her what happened with Nokia's case. Before I check the case board, I respond to some messages on the Digiline and am told I am a dependable replier. I do a life crisis optional case. When I get the okay to turn the case in, I get into a Digimon battle and get the achievement Good Friend from maximizing the cam of a single Digimon. The first main case I do will be Scramble Pentagram. To get this case, I head to Shibuya and talk to this strange girl for the case. I head back to the agency to start the case. This case does not have much. We just talk to the occult club members around Nokia, then we head to Shibuya, and once we get control of our character, we talk to the strange girl from before around Shibuya. Then after a few more cutscenes, we are finished. Before I turn the case in, however, I head back to Shibuya and head to the record store to pick up this Kiwimon medal. I then head back to the agency to properly turn the case in. The last main case for Chapter 4 is Nightmare Eater. We acquire this case in the back corner of the Eden entrance, where this shiny spot is. We get a weird message on our Digiline, then get a call from Kyoko telling us we have another case from a member of the occult club. Monaka tells us there is someone writing her thoughts on the web. She has no memory of writing them, so she wants us to look into it. We get transported back to Eden entrance and are told Pete will be working with us now. After the cutscene, we just go back to where we first acquired the case for another cutscene. After the cutscene, we try to leave Eden entrance and enter Digital Space 10. There are 2 firewalls we can break through for 3 sleep recoveries and an emerald. We make our way to a Clockmon, and after having a short chat, we beat them up and get our last cutscene for the case. Turning it in will get us a memory up. Kyoko wants us to go to K Cafe to pick up some more coffee beans, but before I do that, I will head back to Shibuya Records to talk to a Victory Uchida, who will give us a Ninja USB. I will be pointing out these guys every time I run into one, so yeah. I then head back to Nakano to pick up those coffee beans. After picking them up, I see Yuko, staring intently at the menu at a food place. After some awkward silence, she runs away and we see that she was having a mouth-watering experience thinking about all that food. When we get back to the agency, Yuko is already talking to Kyoko and we start Chapter 5. Chapter 5's main story point is Yuko's request. She wants us to gather information on Kamishiro Enterprises because she wants to find out more about her father's death. Once the cutscene ends, we leave Nakano Broadway and head to Toyosu Kondo's to talk to Yamashina, and honestly he was not that helpful, so we head to Shibuya to talk to Chika in front of the record store. She gives us the keyword Nile Corporation and we take that information and head to the Eden entrance to talk to this elite businessman to use the keyword. He tells us they were bought out by Kamishiro, so we head back to Kyoko. She's already talking to Matayoshi and telling him what our job is. He is on board to help because he has some personal beef with Kamishiro since he and Kyoko's dad were investigating them in regards to their acquisition of Nile Corp. After some more exposition, we head to Mirai to get the stealth hacking skill. This makes us invisible as long as we have at least one virus-type Digimon in our party. We call Kyoko and she gives us the URL to the Kamishiro HQ. We head there to meet up with Yuko, and we have to pretend to be friends with her while we try to sneak in. We show her our new hacking skill and she is surprised about how good it is. When we get control over our character again, we pick up this dark Tyrannomon medal in the corner. We then talk to all the employees in the lobby, then talk to Yuko again. This time, we go invisible and examine this flunky Kamishiro manager, then we connect jump into him. We have to make our way through the digital network to reach the Avalon server. We make our way to the next area to copy the data needed. We hear some hackers and go invisible and listen to how they were hired to keep guard. We do get caught because of a sneeze and Yugo shows up, followed by Jimmykin. We get into a fight and after beating Jimmykin's 2 blue Marimons, we get 2 memory ups. And a final cutscene for the chapter where we hand over the information we have to Matayoshi. When starting Chapter 6, we get a case from Date who wants help in uncovering why people are disappearing in Akihabara. Before heading to Akihabara though, I go to the 3rd floor of Nakano and talk to this Victory Uchiha for a Vigor Mushroom and Creepymon medal. Then, heading to Akihabara, there is a Goemon medal on the other side of the street. I talk to this weird nerd boy by the medal and he tells us he is in love. This guy's a stalker and that is all I will say. We talk to the woman he is stalking, then berates him for being a creep. We then head to the Comic Mania forum. We talk to all the NPCs with the exclamation points above their head. The country girl is the only one with useful information, but talking to everyone makes Arata appear. We explain to him what we are investigating and he offers to help us because it sounds interesting. We leave the forum and head to Nakano to talk to the country girl outside the comic store. She tells us that there was a manga released on the forum and it had really good writing and art, but it felt familiar. So some people started to trash it and those people were the ones going missing. Because the information and comments have been deleted, she can't say for sure who the culprit is, but it is enough to know where to look. Back at the agency, Arata is showing Kyoko his hacking skills, using her computer to see where the deleted data is being stored. Remember everyone, it doesn't matter if you say you deleted something, those files will always be found somewhere. We head to Kowloon level 1 and talk to Arata in Junk Plaza. He joins us as we make our way to the last area of level 1. We interact with this purple device for a cutscene. Arata gets the data back and a Wisemon shows up for a fight. During the fight, we do over 999 damage with a combo attack, so we get that achievement. We then head back to Akihabara and get pulled into a digital shift. I'm starting to think Arata is bad luck since this is the second time we entered a digital shift with him nearby. We see the country girl Frozen and some other people. We pick up a farm expansion plugin from this chest and then run into Suedo. Interesting, he is here also. Continuing on, we interact with this sphere to take out a gold Numamon for it to unlock the boss area. In the boss area, we ran into the girl that was being stalked. It seemed like she was the one kidnapping people, but she seems really off. We fight the Wisemon again for a memory up, and after the fight we watch an eater consume the girl, and now we have to take that out. Sadly, she now has Eden syndrome. We give Date all the information she needs and get thanked for our hard work. We talk to Arata a bit longer, then head back to the agency to explain to Kyoko what happened. I'm Not a Flower Person gives an Agunimon medal as a reward. Nakano Underground will introduce us to the Nakano Underpass for later in the game. We just have to go and try and get the door open. We leave Nakano to head to the underpass. When we reach the door and we have to unlock it, we try to connect jump, but have difficulty. After some time, we make it inside and unlock the door. We then see that the underpass has become a digital shift. Kyoko wants us to explore the area just to see what all is happening. After a few cutscenes, we make our way to the end, and Kyoko tells us that we are a lot farther than we think, and that we should come back to the agency. Kyoko then tells us that we should go over to the Metropolitan Office building since that last area that we were in was under it. She suspects that a digital shift may occur there, so we should go investigate and stop it if it is possible. We make our way there, and while exploring Digital Space 11, we run into an eater. We take care of it and end up back at the agency. When we finish the case, we get a farm development kit. Heading up to K Cafe, we talk to Ryota and he gives us a case. Ryota's Youth gives us a farm expansion plugin for completion, and this case is just dialogue. Nothing of actual importance happens. Heading to the record store in Shibuya, we talk to the lady who works there for a quick cutscene and get our next maiden case. After picking up the case, we are taken back to the store and talk to Riko Tawa for the case information. We then talk to people around the store for more information before talking to Riko again to spend the night there to catch the person pulling these pranks. That night at the store, a weird digital shift appears with an Etamon coming out. We just chase after him and get into a fight, so he becomes more willing to tell us why he is putting his music on the store shelves. He wasn't really doing anything wrong, so I guess we solved the case. We turn in the case for a farm expansion plugin, and this ends chapter 6. While talking to Kyoko, our next client comes in. Here, Kyoko realizes he is a client instead of a salesman, and then we probably start chapter 7. We hear about his case, which is just him helping him retrieve a rare Digimon medal that was stolen. He does not care about the money that was stolen, just his medal. This man has priorities, and I can respect that. We start by talking to the metal man by K Cafe. He tells us to check out Kowloon level 4, so we head to level 3 and take down the firewall. On level 4, there's a Victor Uchida that gives a researcher USB. We continue forward and talk to this guy for a cutscene, and then we head back down this lift and use our copy and paste skill to get the lift working. I picked up this Gawapamon medal. I head to the next area, and instead of fighting the mini boss, I skip it for now and continue on this area to grab a Wendigomon medal, and then fight this optional boss to get the Digi Egg of Courage. Then there are 2 chests after it. One chest does have a memory up. I now go backtrack to fight that mini boss and get the medal we were sent to retrieve. After the fight, we were called back to the agency. We talk to Sakura's mother and Matayoshi, and then are told that Sakura has gone missing and that Sakura's mother wants our help to find her. We go to the Rainbow Turntable to talk to Nokia about this issue. Then we head on over to where Ryota is to talk about Sakura, and he freaks out that she's missing. He then decides to go play hero and runs off. We head back to the office and discuss with Kyoko where Sakura went off to. Nokia walks in and we discuss how Jimmykin is hypnotizing people with his music. Kyoko tells us we need to go back to Kowloon level 4 and Nokia joins us. We make our way through level 4 and watch Ryota get the crap kicked out of him. We should probably help. We got into a fight because Nokia picked it and decided to throw it onto us. After the fight, Ryota is on the brink of death, scares the hackers to hand over the data of the demon's hideouts. We then watch Ryota die in front of our eyes. 07, my friend. 07. We now head off to the demon's den and watch a bit of Jimmykin's concert. We crash it and break some cameras and beat the Kiss wannabe to a pulp and get ourselves a memory up DX. After the fight, Jimmykin tells us who he is working for, then Zaxxon shows up to clean up Jimmykin's mess. They are on our side, kind of, but Jimmykin was a traitor, so his account has to be deleted. This pisses Nokia off because she has more questions to ask, so she picks a fight against Faye and then gets completely demolished. Sorry Nokia, but you are not that strong yet. Yugo stops the fight because Faye is acting out of line. We get some more dialogue and Yugo gives us the information of where everyone brainwashed is located in the real world. After this scene, we go back to the agency and give our final report to Matayoshi. Nokia wants to talk to us outside and explains that she wants to get strong and form a group of tamers that will not misuse their Digimon like what she saw with the demons and Zaxxon. We listen to her plan until she decides to run off. Before I do the optional and main quests, I went to the Digilab and upgraded one of my farms to the max rank to get the 1-star rating achievement. The number 1 gamer case gives us a farm expansion plugin upon completion. Home Security Guard is straightforward. Just get through some dialogue options until we can connect Jump into Digital Space 7. We make our way to Minervamon and explain the situation to her after beating her for her medal and calming her down. The Broadway food tour is just going around with Arata and Nokia to different restaurants in Nakano, and we just listen to them commentate on the meals. Broad Daylight is the last main case for Chapter 7. We just have to figure out who is shooting people, and it turns out it is a tankmon made by the military of another nation. The fight was not that hard, and we headed back to the agency to give our report to Matayoshi and Kyoko. After turning in Broad Daylight, we jump right into a cutscene of Kishibe giving a press conference about how Kamishiro illegally acquired the Nile Corporation, and that she fired everyone involved and has taken sole ownership of Kamishiro, so all decisions now go through her. She also announced a new update with an early access demo event that will happen. Matayoshi says that we got slammed, and I agree. How did she learn about the raid? I get a message from Nokia ruining the mood, and Kyoko wants us to go see what she wants because Kyoko thinks we are about to get some action. Kyoko and Matayoshi continue their talk, this time shifting the topic to, well, my body. Nokia and Arata are fighting over Nokia's idea. Nokia wants Arata to join, but he is not having it because he has his own things he wants to do. Arata leaves and bumps into Yuko, letting her know that we are inside K Cafe. Nokia is trying to rope B into joining her, and then Yuko walks in before being scared off by Nokia. We go back to the agency and explain to Kyoko what is going on with Nokia and Arata. She tells us we should help both of them with their issues. Before I help them, I head off to Tokyo Metropolitan Building to talk to a Victory Uchida for a Mental Melon and Barbamon medal. I head to Junk Plaza to help Nokia with her request. She berates us for being late. I don't care. And then Yugo shows up and asks us what we are doing. Nokia explains to him what she plans to do, and Yugo basically tells her she is stupid. And tells her if anyone will get the Hackers of Eden under control, it will be him. That does not break Nokia's spirit, it just fires her up. We head to the Zaxxon forum and talk to this one guy to get him to join before going to the Demon's Den. At the Demon's Den, there is a Deputymon medal that we can get. I talk to the stray hacker for a mini boss fight. I then talk to the other 2 stray hackers and get them to join Nokia's team. We get a final scene for Nokia's request where she takes all her hackers off, and we have a nice chat with Yugo to Arata with his request. We meet him in front of the Shinjuku subway, and he berates us for helping Nokia. Okay, fuck you, dude. I was just being a good friend. We then move the topic onto Suido, and Arata tells us that he was following him to find out what more Suide knows about Eden Syndrome and the Eaters. When we get out to the flashback, we decide to help Arata with his request. Going back to the first area of Shinjuku, this Eden access point is acting weird, so we connect jump into it, forgetting that Arata does not know we could do that. We make our way through the digital line and end up in Asakusa. We explain to Arata what happened to us and why we could do what we did. While talking to Arata, Asakusa turns into a digital shift. Okay. 1 time is a coincidence. 2 times is suspicious. But 3 times?
Coincidence? I think not!
We enter the digital shift to get rid of the Eater causing it. We pick up a farm expansion plugin in the first area. We interact with the 2 spheres on either side of the gate to fight a Leomon, then a Repomon to unlock the next area. In the next area, we pick up a memory up, then trigger a scene where an Eater consumes a few people and evolves into a humanoid Eater. We beat it and get a few more scenes. Arata questions why these shifts are happening, and that Suido shows up.
Coincidence? I think not!
After a chat with Suido, we finish our talk with Arata, then get teleported back to the agency. Problems at Digipedia gave me some issues with recording because I only got the first half of the quest in footage. The main point of interest is I finally opened up the Digipedia and got the achievement Digimon Fan for registering 50 Digimon in it. With the optional cases out of the way, it is time to pick up the main cases. The first main case is on the 2nd floor of Nakano in front of the card shop. Then the other main case is in Shinjuku when we talk to Arata. Living Doll Dead Person does not have any collectibles or items of importance. I was going to talk about why I think this case is the darkest case in Cyber Sleuth, but because of how long this video will be, I've decided to cut it. If you guys would like me to rank all the cases though and talk about how I feel about them, just let me know in the comments below. Rare Comic Collection is Arata's case, and he just wants us to help him participate in a scavenger hunt type contest for a rare comic book. The only thing of value is that we get to the Eden Free area and pick up a Skull Satamon medal. After turning in Arata's case, we jump right into the starting scene for Chapter 9. The opening scene is basically Arata telling us what our plan will be to take down Kishibe. I could say it here, but then I would be repeating myself shortly. After the scene, I just head to the 3rd floor of Nakano to talk to a Victory Uchida for a CAM USB. We log into Eden and head to the Kamishiro URL. Arata and I are both disguised since this is supposed to be a stealth mission. We enter the early access demo event and Arata makes it so we can see each other as ourselves. I connect jump in the back room and make my way through Digital Network 5 until I reach the Avalon server. We have a small hiccup because I am unable to send Arata the URL invitation, so we move on while he figures out what to do on his end. We have a quick battle against Androidmon and Metalmamon. After the fight, Arata was able to catch up because he is one of the best hackers out there. We then make our way through the Avalon server until we run into an Eater. We beat it, then get a call from Kyoko telling us what the password to the secret room is. It isn't the most secure, but it is definitely not one you would guess easily. Yuko gets caught in Kishibe's office and we enter the secret room. We interact with the dresser first and see Kishibe's panties. We then interact with the bed and take her diary. We get called by Kyoko and she tells us there's an issue at the event. Arata pulls it up and there are Eaters everywhere at the event. We cut to Yuko, who is now talking to Kishibe, and we get to see a bit of Kishibe's true demented colors. After a few more scenes, we are back at the agency to discuss everything we know. After a bit more dialogue, the main chapter mission is over. We have to go out and find all of our next couple of main case missions. The first one is located in Junk Plaza after talking to the rebel tamer there. I then head to K Cafe to get another case from Ryota Flowers for Sakura is Ryota's case, and it is just go around and ask people what present to get a girl. They will tell you where to go, and you don't really need to think hard about it. Expanding in the Nokia Corps is from the rebel tamer Yasu. He wants us to help keep an eye on Nokia and make sure she doesn't get into any danger while trying to recruit people. Just follow Nokia and there's a boss fight where you won't be able to do much damage at first, but after another scene we will be able to take out the boss for a metal Garurumon Black Medal and Black War Greymon Medal. The last main case for the chapter is obtained after turning in the previous case. We get a call from Yugo and he wants to talk to us about Nokia. We head to the Zaxxon forum to meet up with him, and Yugo will just follow us around while we go to different points in Eden for some dialogue. There is one boss battle and that's it. The short of it is that Yugo doesn't fully like what Nokia is doing because it is just creating another group in Eden that will start fighting for control. If anything, it will just cause more of a power struggle. Upon turning in Yugo's case, we start chapter 10. It starts with a speech in the Zaxxon forum. Yugo calls on all hackers in Kowloon to partake in the ultimate hacker raid, the taking of Under Zero. We get a call from Nokia who wants us to meet her at the Eden Free area, and before I talk to her, there's a Victor Uchida hiding. I talk to him and get a Lilithmon medal. This makes medal number 50, which gives us the Medal Fan achievement. I go back and approach the rebels for a quick scene and a fight. Nokia literally just tells them jump his ass, and after beating her lackeys, she finally explains what the hell is happening. She wants us to help train the rebels so their bonds with their Digimon are stronger. Yugo then shows up and just tells Nokia not to get in his way for what he is planning. We then jump to Kishibe and Suedo, who are discussing that the hackers are falling into their trap. We jump to K Cafe and Nokia invites us to participate in the Under Zero raid, and Arta does not want to help her partake in it. He snaps at her for being stupid and getting ahead of herself. He then lets it slip that he knows how dangerous it is. He wants to stop her, but she already ran off. So we have to meet Arata in Eden when we are ready for this. We meet Arata in the Eden community area and he gives us the URL to the Valhalla server. It's time to go save our friend. In the Valhalla server, while trying to catch up to Nokia, we pick up a Memamon medal right at the start of the first area. Then in the second area there is a farm development kit and a farm expansion plugin. In the third area there is a memory up and we are able to catch up to Nokia and she starts insulting us. Arta tries to explain to her why she should stop, and to distract Metal Garurumon and War Greymon he brings up the best meat. We then went into Under Zero. Before moving forward I head to the Digilab to get my team in order and get the full house achievement. Once my team is put together a bit more, we move forward for a cutscene. Yugo and Faye are having an early celebration before Arta and I crash the mood. Arta admits that he was the leader of Jude before it disbanded. Nokia then shows up and we get into a massive battle. Arta and I are fighting Yugo and his Machine Dramon, while Nokia fights Faye. We get a memory up DX for beating Yugo. We then take control of Nokia for her fight. We can't win at first and just have to wait for both of her Digimon to get to 1 HP. When that happens, we get one of the cooler CGI scenes in the game. And I said it, this is cool. With Omnimon, we are able to beat Faye. Then with Nokia's win, we get another cutscene. This time, Kishibe makes herself known and summons a bunch of eaters to give the hackers their Eden Syndrome. We take out the Eaters and Omnimon is able to close the portal that they came through. Yugo gets forcibly logged out and I connect jump to see what is happening. Yuko is Yugo, and this entire time Under Zero raid was Kishibe's trap. When we make it through, Kishibe sends us back to where we came from, and then we get a few more scenes before ending the chapter. At the start of chapter 11, we are back at the agency. We are talking to Kyoko about what happened during the events of Under Zero. Kishibe is putting the blame on all the new Eden Syndrome victims on the hackers. Kyoko suspects that Kishibe is holding Yuko still to continue with her Paradise Lost plan. We need to figure out what Paradise Lost actually is supposed to be, but before that we get a call from Nokia to meet her at the Zaxxon forums. It seems Omnimon regained his memories as to why he is in our world. He came to our world to save the digital world since the Eaters have overtaken it. He then says that the human mental data from our world is what caused the Eaters to appear. The Royal Knights came to our world to destroy it in hopes that it will also put a stop to the Eaters. We also learn that the digital shifts are part of Kishibe's plan to bring the Royal Knights to our world. We then get a call from Kyoko to meet back at the agency. At the agency, Nokia, Arta, Kyoko, and us start making a plan to stop Paradise Lost. We plan to have Arta cut off the power around the underground area Kishibe has Yuko, and we will be going for full frontal assault through the Nakano underpass with Nokia. When we get to the Nakano underground, we have a scene where Faye wants to join us because she wants to save Yuko. We go south from the beginning to talk to this Victor Uchida for a billionaire USB. We then pick up a farm expansion plugin, an Indramon medal, and a memory up. Before going into the boss area, I decide it's time for me to start actually building this team. So it's about time to explain the team composition I'm going for with Cyber Sleuth. A good reminder is that each Digimon is starting from either Tyrannomon or Greymon. In the graphics that will be popping up, the green arrows are when we are digivolving, and then the red arrows are when we are digivolving. First on the list is Lilithmon. Now Lilithmon is started with Greymon. We digivolved Greymon into Blue Metal Greymon, then we went down to Devamon, and then to Lotmon, then we went up to Black Gatomon, into Lady Devamon, into finally Lilithmon. Up next is Leopardmon. Leopardmon started with Tyrannomon, then we go into Memamon, down to Starmon, down to Hagurumon, then we digivolve into Gardramon, into Grapleomon, into finally Leopardmon. Dianamon has the same start, Tyrannomon into Memamon, down into Starmon, but instead of going to Hagurumon, we digivolve into Crestmon, then into finally Dianamon. Ophanimon is the same up to Crestmon, but instead of going into Dianamon, we digivolve into Frigimon, then digivolve into Angelomon, then into Ophanimon. Apoclymon has us start with Tyrannomon, into Megadramon, into Machinedramon, then finally into Apoclymon. Grandramon is from Tyrannomon into Blue Metal Greymon, going down to Raremon, up to Skull Satomon, and then Grand Dracmon. Basilmon is from Tyrannomon, digivolving into Agumon, then going up to Marimon, Skull Marimon, Basilmon, then we end off with Basilmon Battle Mode. Slayerdramon, like Basilmon, we go from Tyrannomon down to Agumon, but instead we go into Geogreymon, Rise Greymon, then finally Slayerdramon. Wargreymon is straightforward, we just go Greymon, Metal Greymon, then Wargreymon. Justmon is a long one because we go Tyrannomon, down to Agumon, down to Koromon, then we go up the Hawkmon line with Hawkmon, Bow Hawkmon, Savior Hawkmon, and then finally Justmon. Armageddonmon is just Greymon into Blue Metal Greymon, down to Devamon, up to Infirmon, then up to Diaburamon, and then finally Armageddonmon. I got the Big Shot Breeder achievement for digivolving 30 Digimon into Ultimates as I was building the team. And because I was using 3 Platinum Numamons for their experience boost, I got the achievement level 99 for, well, getting a Platinum Numamon to level 99. Once the team is fully built, it is time to save Yuko. Heading north, we see Kishibe standing over Yuko. We confront her and she starts her Paradise Lost plan. We cut to Arta, who is about ready to shut down the power to the building when Suido shows up and they have a small chat. We cut back to the main group with Kishibe transforming into Crusadermon. This means the portals are open and we have lost. We fight Crusadermon with our low level megas, and yeah, that was not a hard fight since we aren't allowed to finish it. Crusadermon retreats and we get another cinematic cutscene. We cut back to the group and Arta shuts off the power, closing the dimensional door. While we try to figure out what our next moves are, an eater pounces on Yuko, who is still hooked up to the machine. Where did her stockings go? Why is that position like that? What the fuck, Japan? We fight the Eater Eve with Faye, and after having a few Digimon take it down, we bring it down to around 5% health. Though my Digimon are Megas, their stats are still pretty low right now. We get another scene where we connect Jump into the Eater Eve and pull Yuko out of it, saving her. While celebrating, our character gets pulled into a portal that opens up behind us, and then the chapter ends. Chapter 12 is a full-on dialogue chapter. We start with a faceless flashback of our friend group and watching us get consumed by darkness. We are in the digital world. We approach Yugo's digital data and it turns into an eater. We are now surrounded by eaters. But then we get saved by Yugo after they all jumped us. He gives us some exposition and we get sent back to our world. Back at the agency, we talk about what we've missed for the past 2 weeks, and then Matayoshi shows up and says Arata is now a felon and gives him a head start because Matayoshi knows that Arata is innocent of all crimes he is being accused of. After he runs off, the chapter ends. Hey, look at that, we're past the 1 hour mark. I'm going to take a moment, just say if you guys have made it to this point in the video, thank you. This is on one of the longer sides of videos on this channel. So if you guys are enjoying this, hit that like button. And in the comments below, what is your favorite Digimon in Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's memory? Because I can tell you with certainty, mine is Lilithmon. Just look at her. Look how beautiful she is. But yeah, like, comment, do all that good stuff. Just whatever. And yeah, let's jump right into the rest of this video. Starting chapter 13, we are wondering where Kyoko is until Date shows up with a request. She wants us to help a Lopmon she found find their friend. I head to Asakusa to pick up a Raremon medal I missed earlier. Then we talk to the Victor Uchida for a Leviamon medal. I then head to Shibuya for a quick scene with Nokia. Then I head to the Eden Free area to find Lopmon's friend on Yuko's head. With that, Date's request is complete. Before I turn in Escape from Unemployment, I opened up the Digipedia for the Digimon Researcher achievement since I registered 100 different Digimon. I then get the Thundermon medal when turning the case in. There was nothing of value or importance with the other two optional cases, so moving on to the main cases. To start the first main case, we have to interact with these boxes and take a small break. While we sleep, we slip into a digital network. We go through the network until we get a scene of a young girl playing with two Digimon. When we wake up and are back at the agency, we get the new case. Now this case unlocks Ueno, and it is primarily dialogue with like one boss battle against a Cyclonemon, so that's about it. However, we do get a farm expansion plugin when we turn this case in. After turning in the last case, we head to the escalator on the first floor for a quick scene with Nokia. This is just going to be another food tour case, just all dialogue, nothing of importance actually happens. We do get a memory up upon completion though, so that's good. After we turn the case in, we get a call from Nokia asking us to meet her in Shibuya. We then get thrown right into chapter 14. Nokia wants us to help take care of all the lost Digimon, and Omnimon says that we need to find the Royal Knights and try to convince them to join our side. He says that he senses one in Akihabara. We head to Akihabara and run into a Leopardmon. After a short scene with Leopardmon wanting to destroy the human world, since it's the will of King Drasil or whatever, we meet Diansamon, who is siding with Leopardmon, and then Gallopmon, who is on our side. Leopardmon and Diansamon leave and the cutscene ends after some more dialogue. We head back to the agency and Kyoko is still not back. However, Chika comes in and gives us a case to look into her father since he has been acting weird and she wants us to find out what is wrong with him. When I start Numamon Strikes Back, I head to the Central Hospital to talk to a Victory Uchida for a large capacity USB. We head back to the Central Hospital to do Chika's case, and we talk to Yuko near the elevators about Yamashina and end up in the special ward. We get back down to the lobby and talk to the nurse at the south end of the reception desk. We get the key word when we talk to this energetic boy. He tells us where to go. We head up to the general ward and go to Yamashina's room for a few scenes. Basically, Yamashina is regaining his memory of a traumatic event, and he wants us to take him to the machine where we can fully unlock it, so he doesn't have to be confused anymore. We head to the lab and we saved Yuko from and hop into Yamashina's memory. We make our way through and fight an Ebamon. After Yamashina remembers why he had his memory sealed away, he asks us to reseal them. We take him home and then get a call from Matayoshi to head to Shinjuku. We head to the Shinjuku subway to save Matayoshi and Date from an eater. We take the eater out and then head into the shift since there are supposed to be more down there. Upon entering, we run into Arata, who joins us for this dungeon. Okay, I know all of Tokyo has become a digital shift, but we gotta stop meeting like this, dude. We fight a Megadramon to remove a train so we can access the last area. We see a corpse of people and then fight a humanoid eater. When we beat it, Suido shows up. Arata gets jumped and then regains his memories. Suido then frees him. Then Arata starts his Sasuke journey when Kyoko finally returns, ending the chapter. Oh god, this chapter is the second longest in terms of achievement-related items. We start the chapter talking to Kyoko and she tells us where she is getting readings of the Royal Knights. After drinking some of her coffee and almost dying, again, we head up to the third floor of Nakano and talk to this Victory Uchida for a Basilmon medal. After that, I talked to the mailman to sell some medals. I got over 50 medals in this sale. I then look through the collection, seeing I have 60 medals so far. I get started on my gambling addiction by spamming the A button at the gacha machines. I start at the gacha machine on the first floor in the back of Nakano to get the 30 medals that machine has to bring my total up to 90 medals. I then head to the gacha machine near the escalator in the front of Nakano to get my next 30 medals. During this, I got the achievement Medal Maniac for collecting over 100 individual medals, and that brought my total up to 120. The third floor of Nakano has the third gacha machine, and with it, we bring our total up to 150. There is one more gacha machine in Nakano, however, we will not be able to access it until chapter 19. I have to do some quests and story progressions before I'm able to interact with the other gacha machines at this point. I start with a pet Digimon case, which will automatically take us to Shinjuku, then from there we head to the Eden Free area. This will throw us into a story scene where we have to fight a Kentorosmon, but because of how fast he is, we can't touch him. We then head back to the agency and talk to Kyoko about this. Then we are finally able to return to the Eden Free area and talk to the Hacker Boy. We go back to Shinjuku to battle Kabuterimon, then head to UNO to get another story related scene. In this scene we watch a Gengukmon and a Hawkmon talking about Hawkmon's training. We will come back to this later. We want to just talk to the old man. Then we go back to the Kabuterimon to finish the case. It does give us a farm expansion plugin upon completion. After turning the case in, I head back to Shinjuku to get the medals from the gacha machine there, bringing our total up to 180. I do uncovering the 7th riddle to get a Pandamon medal, this bringing our total up to 181. I go to Akihabara to do the 2 gacha machines there. The first one gets us 3rd rate medal collector for getting 200 medals, and brings our total up to 211. The other gacha machine will bring our total up to 241. We are almost halfway there. While at the Digilab, I sold some chrome Digizoids that were made by the developer farms. I sold them and then became a millionaire. Because the last few gacha machines are locked behind story points, I do problems at Digipedia continued to finish this chapter's optional cases. The first story point I do is at Shibuya Digital Shift. Not a lot happens during this. We just make our way through the dungeon, picking up a Makakuramon medal, a farm expansion plugin, and a farm development kit. Making our way to the end of the dungeon, we meet Magnamon. He is conflicted on which side to join because he wants revenge for the digital world, but at the same time he wants to see if we can understand each other. Lucky for us, Nokia shows up, and she brings Lotmon and Tokamon. Remember Daute's request? Yeah, these two are Magnamon's friends, so he decides humans are not that bad. Dynasamon shows up and we fight them for memory up. We get another scene and then report back to Kyoko. I head back to Shibuya to the record store and start getting the medals there at the gacha machine in front of it. During that time, I answered 20 Digiline quiz questions correctly for Quizmaster. I then sell the medals to the medal man, bringing my total up to 274. The next gacha machine is inside the record store. During this, I break the 300 medals and become a second-rate medal collector, and then this brings the total to 304. Now it is time for the next story beat. We go to Ueno and talk to the Genkumon and Hawkmon. Genkumon wants us to train Hawkmon to help him beat Bancho Leomon, but Hawkmon does not want our help, so he runs off and we follow him into the Ueno shift. Once inside, we get into a fight and get the achievement Battle Expert after getting over 500 battles. We pick up a Mummymon medal, a memory up, and then make our way to the boss room. We get a scene where Hawkmon is about to get killed until we step in to save him. We then fight Bancho Leomon with Hawkmon for another memory up. After the fight, Genkumon comes to congratulate Hawkmon, who just jump digivolves into Justmon. You know, my Justmon is cooler, but whatever. We finish the scene and are back at the agency. We then head back to Ueno for the gacha machine there to bring our total up to 335 medals. That is it for the gacha machines, like I said earlier. The last one in Nakano will not be available until chapter 19. Time to rush to the end of chapter 15. To start, we visit Mirai, so we can get started on the parallel world part of this chapter. We cannot do it yet, but this progresses to the next part. We talk to Ryota outside the Digilab, and then go to Kowloon level 1 for a quick scene about Yugo, the avatar. We then go back to the agency and start the Yuko and Yugo case. This one is mainly dialogue. Yuko wants to delete Yugo's avatar, but is unable to because it says someone is using the account. She freaks out and changes the case to help her find out who is using the account. We talk to a hacker by the lift to level 2, and while we were on level 2, we get into a scene where we learn that Yugo's avatar is being controlled by an AI, and we then fight the avatar in another dungeon. When we beat the avatar, the account gets deleted, and Yuko's Rise Greymon digivolves into Galmon. We turn in the case for a memory up. Now it's time for a parallel world. We talk to Mirai and get a very hot CG scene. And then we end up in another world. We meet Rina Shinomiya. That's all I have to say for that. We basically have to go through the Shinjuku digital shift and fight a Barbamon. When we win, her Vmon turns into Ulforce Vidramon, who we were looking for in this world. We take Ulforce back to our world, and on the other side it seems Rina followed us. With that, we can fight Kentarosmon. We head back to the Eden Free area for the fight. We get some dialogue, then jump into the fight by riding on the back of Ulforce Vidramon, which I understand how we are able to keep up, but how are Digimon able to keep up? Because they're just like floating in front of us during this entire fight. So moving on. When we get his health low enough, we get into a cutscene, and instead of him joining us or running away and joining Leopardmon and Crusadermon, he just decides to chill with Ulforce and Rina to figure out if he actually likes humans. Honestly, that's acceptable. Just don't turn on us, I guess. The last digital shift is in Asakusa. We head there and make our way to the end, picking up an Icemon medal along the way. Near the end, we run into Arata. We join him in fighting a humanoid eater, and when we win, he consumes it, changing one of his arms into that of an eater's. Gallantmon shows up and we fight Arata as Gallantmon. There is no winning for this, so just do whatever. We get a call from Nokia to meet her at the agency, and well, we walk away in shame for being unable to save our friend, ending the chapter. We start in the K Cafe to discuss our next move. There are 5 Royal Knights left. We agree that Examon should be our next target. We tell everyone what happened with Arata. With that, we end our meeting. We head to Shibuya Records for a Victory Uchida, and then go to Kowloon level 1 to pick up a DLC case, then we head back to the agency. I start with a Poor Cold Digimon for the Farm Expansion plugin. And for this case, you can get the Warm Blanket for free just by choosing the second option every time it comes up. We then do Constant Bragging because the Bancho Leomon boss at the end will drop his medal when we beat him. Dr. Datamon Develops Medicine will give a farm expansion plugin. With all the optional cases done, we head to Odaiba Bay. When we reach the boss area for Examon, we get a scene where we learn that Crusadermon was the one who killed Yuko's father. After the fight, it runs away, and then Arata jumps Gallantmon and eats him. Rest in peace, my friend. We get a few more scenes of what to do next. Yuko and I have to head to Kowloon level 5 to disrupt the digital line that Examon is using to recharge its energy. We head to Kowloon level 1 to meet up with Yuko, but she is already on her way to level 5 because we were too slow. We head to level 4 to take down the firewall to level 5 and then take the lift up. We meet up with Yuko and she is just being rude. Like saying we aren't her friend, and I'm not going to blame her for how she's acting. She just learned that Crusadermon was the one who murdered her father, and she wants revenge. Suodo then shows up, and before we beat him senseless, he explains that he may have helped Crusadermon, but he was never on her side since their goals were different. We make our way through level 5, picking up a Warumonzemon medal, a memory up, and a farm expansion plugin. We make it to the end to get a scene before the fight against Craniumon, where Sudo tries to convince Craniumon to let us take down the digital line. Now, that didn't work, so we beat Craniumon. We get a few more scenes, learn that Suodo never wanted Yuko's dad to die, and regrets being able to stop Crusadermon. He then turns off the digital line for us before we head back to the agency. There, Yuko apologizes for her rudeness earlier. There are two main cases for this chapter. The first one is already up on the bulletin board, and this is just a dialogue case that gives a farm expansion plugin. Because it's the Occult Club, we skip. After turning in the previous case, we need to speak to Pete near the restrooms for the next case. And this one honestly made me a little sad. Ghost Cat Building is a Pete-centered case. We get through some dialogue, go through a digital network, and end up in Digital Space 8. During this case, we learn more about Pete and who he was. We examine data files and get keywords and learn about the construction of Nakano. After all the files have been read, we get a scene and end up at the beginning of the dungeon. We talk to the Wanyamon and use the keyword Miko. If we use the other two, then we have to fight Wanyamon, and I chose not to because Miko is our friend in this game, even if we knew him as Pete. After turning in the case, we leave the agency and get a call from Arata, and he wants us to meet him at Odaiba to help take it down. We meet up with Arata and take Examon down, and we try to talk him back to his senses, but he just leaves, since Examon is too big for him to consume. And then chapter 16 ends. We start the chapter at the agency and explain to Kyoko what happened in Odaiba. We then get a call from Yuko, who tells us she found where Crusadermon is hiding. When the scene is over, I jump into the optional quests, starting with desperately seeking babysitter for the red Vegiemon medal. We then do Dr. Datamon's medicine trial for the memory up. With those two cases out of the way, we make a stop by the metal man to sell some medals and see how many medals we have. The total is 341 as of right now. We then head to Akihabara to meet up with Yuko, but before that, we talk to this Victory Uchida for a Belfmon Sleep Mode and Belfmon Rage Mode medal. We walk back and talk to Yuko for a scene. We make our way into the Akihabara Digital Shift, and we pick up a Flymon medal, then make our way to fight Crusadermon with Yuko. We get a scene of Yuko and Crusadermon having their final talk before we fight. With the vaccine squad, Crusadermon was a pushover. We get a memory up and then enter a scene where it just seems to be us. Yuko probably headed back to the agency already, so we just walk and keep walking. We just keep walking, what do? You walk, 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 until everything goes black. And we have a flashback of when Eden was still in its closed testing phase. We relive the events of the tests up until we have to enter this strange portal. Yuko then finds our goggles and the chapter ends. Chapter 18 is straightforward. Yuko tells Nokia and Kyoko what happened. Our character is missing, so we are controlling Nokia for this chapter. We still can use our Digimon team and access the Digilab, though it is limited with what we can do. As Nokia, we leave the agency and go straight into the beginning Eden. We get a quick scene where Nokia and Yuko say that this space feels familiar. As we walk, Mirai calls out and we can enter the Digilab, but we continue forward until we reach another scene. Nokia and Yuko follow the child version of our character, and we get the exposition on what happened to Yuko, how we all had our memories wiped because of trauma, and then we watch all that trauma happen in the digital world. Yugo sacrificed himself so everyone else can get out. After the scene, Crusadermon shows up and we get some dialogue on how it is our fault that the digital world is the way it is. We jump into a CG scene of Kyoko becoming Alphamon.
未来を選ぶ。そんな不確かな可能性を私は信じよう。はあ。
Crusadermon brought Nokia and Yuko to where our character is, and Alphamon confronts Crusadermon. We get a quick fight with Alphamon joining us against Crusadermon, and when Crusadermon is below 50%, we get another scene where Yuko joins us for the fight. In this fight, we can beat Crusadermon and get a memory up DX. We get one more scene before the chapter ends, and this is where Crusadermon tells us what Leopardmon is planning, and then Yuko and Crusadermon just tell each other how much they really dislike the other. With that, the chapter ends. After beating Crusadermon, we are back in the agency. Nokia, Yuko, Kyoko, and our character are discussing the recent events and what our next game plan is. Kyoko gives us some exposition on how Crusadermon and them were able to take over the real Kishibe and Kyoko's body. The real Kyoko and Kishibe were attacked by eaters, and Crusadermon and Alphamon were able to put their mental data into the human bodies. And the reason it worked was because of how similar they were to the host. Figure out that Leopardmon plans to use the digital lines to digivolve into something stronger than Xmon, so our next main story stop will be the roof of the Metropolitan building. We have Nokia with the help of the rebels to turn off the digital lines to stop Leopardmon from being able to digivolve. There is a victory Uchida by the Shinjuku digital shift that gives us a tactician USB. We head back to Nakano so we can get the last gacha machine done and bring us oh so ever closer to 500 medals. The medal total is now 374. We then go to the arcade to participate in the offline Coliseum. We have to start all the way at bronze rank, but it does not take too long to get through to platinum rank to become a seasoned gamer. The Legend Cup was slightly harder, but with our team it was still pretty simple, and when we beat it, we became a pro gamer. But we cannot do the Master Cup yet until we finish chapter 20. We do the Princess's Sign CD optional quest to get a farm expansion plugin, and then do Could Be a Stalker since the boss fight in that case has a War Greymon medal that will drop when we beat it. We now head to the Metropolitan office to continue the story. The items of value here are a farm development kit, which we then take to the Digilab to get our last farm achievement, Land Baron, and we fill up the last farm with Digimon to get the standing room only achievement. We then continue on to pick up a Platinum Numemon medal and a farm expansion plugin, while we make our way to the boss fight with Dynasmon. We get a short cutscene with this Digimon of honestly no real importance, and to just show how much we dislike Dynasmon just for wasting our time, he gets an acceleration boosted Corona Destroyer from Basilmon. The victory gives us a memory up DX, and after watching Dynasmon die, we pick up another memory up right before the elevators in the back of the room. The next stop is the roof, and on our way we grab a Rosemon BM medal, another memory up, and another farm expansion plugin. Once on the roof, we approach Arta, who is patiently waiting for Leopardmon to finish recharging so he can eat. We get some exposition on Arta's feelings since we now remember what happened all those years ago. We get to see a pretty neat transformation that Arta does. After that, we get some more dialogue and we jump into the boss fight. After the boss fight, we get another memory up DX, but before we can use it, we have to save Arta. Like with Yuko, we connect jump into Eater Arta and try to snap him back to reality after hearing all of his negative thoughts. After listening to Arta's woes, punching him back to himself, and then getting into a fist fight, he finally gives up his Sasuke arc. Touching times. Very, very touching times. But why do I feel like we are forgetting something? Oh, right, Leopardmon is still a thing. Nokia shows up in time to stop Leopardmon's recharging. We get some dialogue about what the actual plan was, and Arta laughs at the stupidity of our group. I mean, I don't blame him. The group's IQ is equivalent to the dumbest person, and Nokia is the dumbest one in our group. Let's just jump into the boss fight because Leopardmon is just delusional about King Drasil's will. We swap out to all viruses and try to hit him, but because he has boosted agility, he becomes harder to hit. But when we can hit him, he's not that tough. Like the other bosses, we get a memory up DX. We watch Leopardmon die, and while we discuss how we will handle the Eaters, Suido shows up and says that we can just send the Eaters home if we open the portal to the digital world. We do that. Then he suggests that if we go through the portal and pull out Yugo's mental data from the Mother Eater, then there will be a chance that the world will go back to the point before Yugo's mental data was devoured and Eden Syndrome will never have been a thing. We decide to do that, but before going through the portal, there are a few items we need to do just to prepare. While on the roof, we talk to Arta and he tells us that he has a case for us. Talking to Alphamon will send us back to the agency. We check the board, then Kyoko says there is a new case for us that she would like us to take. This is a DLC case. We leave the agency to get a case from Rina. Finally, we then go to the Digilab to get another case from Mirai. Dream of the Sky gives nothing of true value except a bank expansion drive and the Cyber Sleuth points. Broken Sleep gives the last farm expansion plugin for completion, and when we turn it in, we get the Veteran Investigator for solving 50 cases. We then take the farm expansion plugin to the Digifarm and bring Digifarm 5 to max rank for a 5-star rating. Dr. Datamon Medicine Complete will give a memory up, and the boss fight can drop the Rust Tyrannomon medal. Two Faces will give a Kotamon medal. We then do the DLC case Terriermon's Exclusive Scoop. This is a very dialogue heavy case where you just show Terriermon some of the things you do just so he can write about how not all humans are scary and how some are very nice. There is a boss fight against a ground Locomon and it will drop its medal when you beat it. Besides Mirai's DLC cases, we have done all the optional cases that we can right now, so it is time to move on to the main cases. The first main case we do is Boy A. This case is just Arata wanting us to go to the Valhalla server with him to get some payback against the Digimon that caused him to want to leave Jude. We fight against Nightmon with Arata and watch Arata's Digimon digivolve into Diaboromon. We then turn in the case and get a memory up. There is a businessman by the Rainbow Turntable in Nakano who will give the next main case, Comeback Show. This is a Jimmykin related case, so let's just go through this. We run into Etamon who says that Jimmykin kidnapped Rikotawa and then he digivolves into Metal Etamon. We then get to Shibuya and we have to fight all the hackers before we can move on to going to Shibuya Records. We fight Jimmykin to get the first rate medal collector achievement since we now have collected 400 medals. During the next cutscene, we find out that Riko was not kidnapped, but is making her debut by opening for Jimmykin's comeback show. And then we turn in this case for another memory up. Rina Shinomiya's challenge is straightforward. After accepting the case, we go to Mirai and talk to her until we find out that we have to go to Asakusa to fight Rina and Ulforce Vidramon. It is a good idea to swap to your data squad and save beforehand because Ulforce is fast and his ability just already allows him to always go first in battle. Now this was a slight challenge, but once I was able to get the data squad out, it was a whole lot easier. Ulforce will drop his medal, and when we turn this case in, we will get our final memory up, and we are now able to do the great challenges, which, like this case, can be difficult also. The great challenges are straightforward. You just accept the case and then we have to go talk to Mirai so she can tell us where to go. After talking to Mirai, for this first one she tells us to go to the Zaxxon Forum to fight Magdamon and Rapidmon. They will drop their corresponding medals when you defeat them. Great Challenge 1 will also reward the Digi-Egg of Miracles and Destiny for those that want to digivolve as many Digimon in Cyber Sleuth as they can. Great Challenge 2, remember we have to go to Mirai at the start of each challenge. We have to go to the Tokyo Metropolitan office, so in the main lobby. There will be a Leopardmon and you will be able to get the Leopardmon medal for winning, and then turning the case in will give the Leopardmon LM medal. Great Challenge 3 will have us go to Kowloon level 5 to fight Kentarosmon and Craniamon to get their medals upon victory. With Great Challenge 4, it's the same verse just like the first. This time we head to Nakano Underground where we saved Yuko. We are going to be fighting Dynasmon and Crusadermon for their medals. Great Challenge 5 will take us to Odaiba Bay again to fight Examon, getting his medal. Then Great Challenge 6, we are in the Demon's Den for Jesmon and Genkumon and get their medals. The final Great Challenge for right now is number 7, where we have to go to the Valhalla server to fight Gallantmon, Omnimon, and Alphamon. This one is difficult because when each one dies, they will buff the others. They also just hit hard already. But after a difficult fight, we're able to pull through and win. Before we start the 7 Deadly Sins DLC cases, I need to do some more preparation. We stopped by the Metal Man to sell some medals and I just go down my checklist to see what all medals I am missing. I then jump to the Digilab to buy some best meat for these next couple of achievements I want to get. The first achievement we get is Digi Wrangler, which we get for feeding a Digimon 100 times basically. And then we get Best Friend for maximizing the cam of 30 Digimon. Next, I take my 3 Platinum Nuemons and grind out my team again. The reason for this grind is to max out their ABIs so I can work on getting 2 achievements. The first one being Top Talent for maximizing the ABI of a single Digimon. I then got the achievement Top Notch Breeder because I digivolved 30 Digimon into Megas. Then a little later, I checked the Digipedia and we get the achievement Digimon Professor for registering 200 Digimon. After about 2.5 hours of work, we got the achievement Digimon Idol for maximizing the ABI of 10 Digimon. I continue forward just to make sure my team is fully built and complete. Like the Great Challenges, the 7 Deadly Sins cases wants you to talk to Mirai when you accept each case. Also, like the Great Challenges, the Digimon you fight will drop their medals. These medals are also given to you by the Victory Uchidas, so in reality, you don't really even need to do these for the medal collection. However, I want to do them. Before we actually go off and hunt Wrath, we should discuss what these DLC cases actually are. So, a girl named Seo, who's from another world, basically lost her Dianamon. Her Dianamon is trapped, and she asked Mirai for help. Mirai then is like, hey, help this girl, and we're like, alright, what we gotta do? And we basically hunt down the 7 Deadly Sins Digimon to get these items. Basically, we're gathering the 7 Dragon Balls. 7 Deadly Sins, 7 Dragon Balls. We make a wish to perform a ritual to free Dianamon. Like, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I played through this, I read the dialogue, I reread the dialogue while trying to write this script, and I don't understand these cases, truth be told. All I know is, go hunt Digimon, we can do that. So the first sin we hunt is Wrath. Wrath is basically going to be a Creepymon who can be found in Central Hospital. For these fights, I do suggest saving because some of these bosses can be hard. That's why I did all the preparation, because I was told these bosses will be hard. The next Digimon sin we hunt down is the sin of greed, and Barbermon is the representation. He can be found on the 3rd floor in Nakano by the escalator. Lilithmon is the sin of lust, and she is by the connector next to the Tokiyaki restaurant. And I gotta say,
Yes! Yes! Come to Papa!
anyways,
Be gone, slut!
I do not wish to be horny anymore. I just want to be happy.
the sin of envy is Leviamon, and he can be found at the Central Hospital. And this MFer, okay? This guy has an insta-kill move that will basically almost always, 98 to 100% of the time, kill you. Fuck this guy.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine. And you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Okay, the sin of gluttony is Basilmon, and he is at the Nakano arcade. And I simped for Lilithmon, but I'm like, this guy's introduction is just so cool, man. So cool. Belfmon is the sin of sloth, and he's at the connect point on the vending machine on the 3rd floor in Nakano. Now this boss has 2 phases. Belphemon SM is not hard at all because he sleeps the entire time. Now phase 2 is when you fight Rage Mode, and again, not that hard, but good lord, he puts up more of a fight. Loosemon is the final and hardest Digimon Sen because he has 3 phases. Phase 1 isn't hard at all. Phase 2, it ramps up the difficulty since all of Loosemon FM's attacks deal AoE status effects. And Phase 3 is pray to God you can survive long enough to win. Loosemon SM cannot be hit for a majority of this fight. He has an attack called Loss of Power where he hurts himself, but you won't be able to damage him until he uses All Power is Lost, which is when he will have very little HP left. The last case in this quest line is Fanatics, and Mirai performs the ritual that frees Dianamon from wherever she was. Honestly, I completely forgot about that. And then we fight Mirai and her Monzemon. I still don't get why, but it's a fight, I guess. Back onto the achievement side of things. The first one we get out of the way is Best Cyber Sleuth by reaching rank 20. I get this by completing a blacklisted hacker farm case. We have all of the shiny item medal pickups, all of the quest reward medals besides 3, and a good majority of the Digimon drop medals. Now I want to try and get as close to 500 medals as I can before going into chapter 20. So I just went from area to area using my checklist as a way to make sure I know where to go for the medals I am missing. There is one drop medal that I did not, well, I could not get because of how abysmal the drop rate was. It was the Vidramon medal, and I had 2 Black King Numamons, all with large capacity USBs. My Lilithmon had large capacity USBs, and this is supposed to like bump up the drop rate by like a good margin. But I think I killed like 50 Vidramons and I did not get a single medal to drop from it. So I just decided that I will have better luck just farming out for the Vidramon lost property case. While I was trying to get other medals, we got into our 1000th Digimon battle for the achievement Battle Iron Man. So there are 3 property cases I need to do before I move on to chapter 20. Black Agumon, Metal Greymon Blue, and Vidramon. Now, the Agumon Black medal and the Metal Greymon Blue medals are only available through property cases, at least in Cyber Sleuth. I know I could get them easily in Hacker's Memory, but I wanted to get all the Cyber Sleuth achievements in Cyber Sleuth. So I save scummed until I got all 3 property cases, and then I did them. This brought our total up to 487 out of technically 700 medals. To start chapter 20, we just have to talk to Omnimon at the top of the Metropolitan Building. We go through the portal and enter the digital world. We all get some flashbacks of our first time there. We then move forward to fight a King Drasil terminal. After beating the terminal, we glitch out and move on to jump down a pit into the King's Core. We run into Suedo, who tells us how we need to debug Drasil. I talk to Suedo because I want to go back to Tokyo to go pick up a few items. The first thing we do is go back to Odaiba to talk to a Victory Uchida in the boss area where we fought, well, Examon. He will give us the 3 Loosemon medals, and I know we got them from the Deadly Sins case, but I still feel like I should show it for those that just don't want to do those cases. We go back to the agency to start Great Challenge 8, which will be against Imperial Dramon in the digital world. Now, we have to kill 2 Imperial Dramon PMs on either side before we can actually attack the middle one. I suggest having a Jesmon for a Weltgeist because when the middle Imperial Dramon is almost down, he will start spamming Omnisword, and this will wipe out your entire team. Weltgeist makes it so Jesmon will take no damage when attacked, and he will counter every attack done to him until his next turn. So just keep using Weltgeist until Imperial Dramon uses Amazing, so we can actually defeat him. With that side quest over with, it is time to get back to the digital world and beat the game. While making our way to the core, we had to fight 3 more terminals.
君がいてくれてよかった。続けていこう。
ほらほら。私たちは無敵だよ。
Upon reaching the core, we get a cutscene. We try to connect jump but can't, so we have to take down the Mother Eater in front of us. This fight was straightforward. There is no reward screen since we go right into the next cutscene. We connect jump after glitching and go pull Yugo out of his prison. He tells us we done goofed since he was keeping the Eater's erosion at bay, and without him, they will all go berserk. Suedo shows up and tells us he will join the Eaters to become a god and recreate the world in his image. That is honestly the gist of what he is saying. After seeing the core wake up and being all menacing, we try to connect jump, but Suedo tells us we shouldn't because every time we have interacted with an Eater, our body has gotten more and more unstable. Because we have jumped into Eaters multiple times already, if we do it again, we may die. Enough talking, time to fight King Drasil's core properly. This is broken up into two phases. Phase 1 is straightforward, kill all 3 targets.
ほらほら。
We get a neat cutscene with Yugo firing shots at the core, and we jump into phase 2.
わかるぞイーター。弱っているな。僕一人の力ではお前を止めることはできなかった。だが今なら仲間たちがいる。今ならお前を止められる。今だみんな。
For this phase, we can ignore the wings and just attack the main body, since the wings, well, they won't be able to die anyways. After beating the core, we get our last cutscene. While everyone is talking about how to get rid of the core, our character decides to connect jump, not caring for what happens. We said we will all go home. That includes Suedo. When inside the core, we talk to Suedo and he does not understand why we would jump in to rescue him, even when we knew what would happen. He does not want to return to a world of sadness, but because we have piqued his interest, he will take the eaters away and watch to see if these events may happen again or something. I honestly don't know. Half of what Suedo says makes no sense. We head back out and tell our friends he does not want to go home. King Drasil starts to wake up again, and we make our way to the exit since it's, well, time to go home. We see the digital world go back to how it was before we came. We watch as the mental data of everyone taken by the Eaters go back to our world. We say goodbye to our digital friends and head back ourselves. While we celebrate between worlds about how we are all going home, our character vanishes. When back in our world, Nokia sees our goggles and screams, realizing that we may never be able to return home again. Nokia gives us our final cutscene about how the world has changed without Eden Syndrome and without Digimon. Basically, instead of Eden Syndrome putting people into comas, it was a terrorist attack. The real Kishibe ends up dating Yuko and Yugo's father, and the main group still are able to remember what happened, but our character is still asleep in the special ward of the central hospital. We open our eyes to see Alphamon, who tells us we have been asleep for a while, but we don't have our body anymore. Alphamon offers us the chance to be their assistant in the digital world, but they were just joking about it. Instead, they have a little crazy plan. First, they ask us to look around. After seeing all of our Digimon, Alphamon explains that because we are basically data, we had a massive impact on our Digimon, and everything we went through with them is part of our memories, and we can use those little bits and pieces of data to reconstruct our body. And then Alphamon tells us that they have a bit of data, and then apologizes if it's a little weird. Suspicious. But with that, we get the end credits and the final story achievement, reaching the end. After the credits, we are awake back in Tokyo, and we're enjoying a cup of coffee with... oh god, no. But hey, we get to meet the real Kyoko and maybe become a cyber sleuth with her. There are 4 more achievements needed to complete Cyber Sleuth. The first one will be gotten in the offline Coliseum. We have to beat the Master Cup, and I suggest having a full team of max ABI, level 99 Digimon, 3 data, 3 virus, 3 vaccine, and then just 2 other being whatever type you would prefer. I also suggest stocking up on healing items because even though this one is not as frustrating as some other battles, it is still a gauntlet. After we beat Mr. Navit at the end of the Master Cup, we also get our 500th medal for the Legendary Medal Collector achievement and became a Master Gamer for beating the Master Cup. 30 online victories was a struggle because I thought I could do 30 event battles and I was wrong, but you can set them to NPC fights. The NPC opponents can be difficult, so it was still a struggle. After some time, we finally got all 30 online victories and got the achievement Battle Master, and because I got every other achievement in the game, I got the Perfect Sleuth achievement. Good lord, I am finally done with Cyber Sleuth. I still have to do Hackers. And that's like another 50 achievements. I originally wanted to have Cyber Sleuth and Hackers Memory be one video, But because of how much content there is in both games, this video is just Cyber Sleuth. If you want to see the full game with some voice acting done by Khoga and myself, go over to Khoga's channel to watch our playthrough of it there. While you are there, go check out Khoga's playlist of Xenoverse 2 if you guys like Dragon Ball content. Khoga said if the playlist got a total of 1,000 views, he will do a lore video for his Saiyan character. I've heard a bit of the lore, and with what he's doing with it, you guys might be interested in it. Because of how long it's taken me to edit and record this video, it would be much appreciated if you guys like, comment, subscribe, do all the good YouTube stuff, just so I know that the amount of effort I put in was well received. And if you guys have any suggestions for what I could do differently, let me know in the comments below. With that though, until next time when we have Hacker's Memory, you guys have a good rest of your day, week, whatever, and yeah, peace.